In cheerleading, it's incredibly important that we take some time to set some goals for ourselves and for our teams. By setting goals, we are creating a roadmap that is going to guide us towards progress. These goals are a roadmap that set the standard for how we want to go about practices every week, where our priorities at each practice are, and helping us set milestones throughout the year for us to keep track on if we are making progress or if we need to make adjustments to set our athletes and our program up for success. A good place for us to start is by identifying what our big goal is. We always want to start big picture and then kind of whittle it down into more manageable, bite sized goals and action steps so that it's not so overwhelming. We want to start big and then work our way down. So that's what we're going to do today is we're going to look at what our big goal is and start to split that out. And then in a later session, we will talk about creating an action plan and what will go into actually working towards these goals step by step so that we can achieve the big goal at the end of our season. So, when thinking about our big goal, we really are thinking at the end of the season, what do we want to see from our teams? The one thing that I would be cautious about planning on is something like winning state or winning nationals. Even though that may be a goal, it's not something that we have full control over. That is something that is ultimately left up to the judges and the teams that we're competing against. And there's a lot of flexibility in that goal. So, no matter how hard we work or the efforts we put in or how many milestones we hit along the way, we still might not reach our goal. And even though that's not a detrimental problem, it can be a little bit discouraging. So we want to set goals that we are in control of, and that if we work hard, we hit the steps, we do what we're supposed to do, then we will achieve the goal. We want to make it inevitable. So, an example of a big goal may be to max out the score sheet. This is something that we have some control over. If we are well aware of our score sheet, we know what goes into maxing out those baseline scores. There is little to no room for subjective feedback from the judges. And this may depend on what your score sheet specifically is. But in theory, of course, we think that maxing out the score sheet is a good stepping stone to potentially winning state or nationals or whatever competition you may be a part of. Maxing out the score sheet is something we have more control over. So if we set that as our big goal, we want to be maxing out our score sheet so that we have the best chance at winning. How can we break that down? What does it take for us to hit our score sheet? And that could be a variety of things. Maybe that is hitting your 360 ups 9 out of 10 times as a team. All right. If we're hitting that stunt 9 out of 10 times, we're looking pretty confident on that competition floor. Maybe it's hitting our inversions 9 out of 10 times. Maybe it's hitting our entire elite sequence or our pyramid. All of those are going to work towards our big goal. Another goal may be working on our jumps. These are a little bit harder to quantify, but maybe we're working on team hyperextended, getting that height, that flexibility, that power into our team. First of all, it's going to look good in our jump sequence. It's also going to be building the ability of our athletes to be better throughout the rest of their routine as well. And then maybe our fourth goal is a tumbling goal. Maybe we are looking for 80 to 100% of team back handsprings. All right, so we have some stunt goals, we have some jump goals, we have some tumbling goals, all of which are going to feed into that maxed out score sheet, which is something that we have control over and is going to put us in a really strong position for what we are hoping the outcome of our season will be, which would be a win, state, nationals, undefeated season, whatever that looks like. Now that we have our big goal and the mini goals that are going to be focused on to support that big goal, in our next session, we're going to talk about focusing in on each mini goal and breaking out the mini goals into even smaller bite-sized pieces with an action plan to get them all accomplished.